Welcome to episode 11 of the Grace Shepherd's Memo. My name is Pastor David, and yes, that is a fish on my bookshelf. I think it looks cool. This morning, I would like to read Psalm 5 for you and make a few observations. I'm going to read it in its entirety to begin. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my groaning. Give attention to the sound of my cry, my King and my God. For to you do I pray. O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I prepare a sacrifice for you and watch. For you are not a God who delights in wickedness. Evil may not dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers. You destroy those who work lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. I will bow down toward your holy temple in fear of you. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness. Because of my enemies, make your way straight before me. For there is no truth in their mouth. Their innermost self is destruction. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue. Make them bear their guilt, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels because of the abundance of their transgressions. Cast them out, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy, and spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may exult in you. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover him with favor as with a shield. Psalm 4 and 5 actually kind of form a set in your Bibles. They're positioned intentionally together because they're meant to be read together, so to speak. Psalm 4 is considered an evening psalm, and Psalm 5 is considered a morning psalm, like verse 3. Shows us. And I like to think of it this way. You should read Psalm 4 to yourself when you have trouble going to sleep at night, when the abundance of trouble and weights of concern are really keeping you from rest. And on the flip side, you should read Psalm 5 when the abundance of troubles or weights of concern kind of keep you from getting out of bed in the morning. This is a morning psalm. And I like it particularly because I like how the David here, the difficulties of his life lead him to prayer. But also, I like to see how his theology also leads him and informs him and assures him in his prayer. You may see there in verse 4, he talks about the wicked. The wicked cannot dwell with you. And this word dwell right there is referring to not like a permanent residence, like a house or a brick and mortar building. It's referring to a tent or a temporary residence. And that's very interesting to me. God is so holy, God is so righteous, that wickedness can't even temporarily remain around him. The wicked cannot dwell with God. And then down in verse 10, we also see the reason for this. They will fall, they will fail, they cannot dwell in his presence because of the abundance of their transgressions. That is why the wicked cannot approach God. And so, maybe David is saying to himself, right now, the wicked cannot approach you in prayer because of the abundance of their transgressions. Matter of fact, if we read elsewhere in this very book, in Psalm 143, verse 2, we see that the issue is deeper than that. It's not just this group out there, this wicked group, but we see no one living is righteous before you. We all have an abundance of transgressions, so to speak, that keep us from God. And this is why I particularly like this psalm, because we see why David goes to God in prayer and how he can go to God in prayer. In verse 7, it says, but I will enter your house. And notice why he can enter God's house. Not because of the abundance of my righteousness or the abundance of my worth. I enter your house through the abundance of your steadfast love. That's God's right covenant faithfulness, covenant loyalty and love towards David. The love that we all as his people enjoy, the love that loved us while we were sinners, as Romans 5 tells us. That love that sent Christ to die and purchase us for his own as his people. That steadfast, loyal love of God. That is how I approach God. Or you could say it like this in the morning. I can get out of bed this morning. I can go about my day in faith because I have faith in the abundant love of God that is for me even today. I don't need to worry or have anxieties if God is with me. And that is an encouraging thought to me to think in the morning. I hope you're having a blessed day, and I hope this encourages you. I'll see you next time on the Grace Shepherd's Memo.